Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla, and welcome to my Ancient Gaming stream. This is where I play video games and talk about whatever Ancient Studies content I can find and whatever else comes to mind. Welcome, DJ Trundlebot hyping of the dead. If you are here in chat, please feel free to say hello. This week we are playing part 3 of I Am Dead, a cute little game about the afterlife, the lives we've lived, and how they come together on a little alternative universe British Isle. If you are here in chat, please feel free to say hello, and if you'd like to see the beginning of the series or any of my other Ancient Gaming series, you can find all of that along with my other videos on my YouTube channel, which is linked there, down there somewhere. It's always hard to tell which way you're facing in the... Alright, so let's just dive on in. We are just finishing up the sculpture garden, where we've learned about Val, although not why she died so young. I don't know if they'll have us start a little bit back from finishing her story. They did that last time. We are Morris, the caretaker, a curator of the local museum. Surely they're not having us just start the whole... Oh, okay, yeah. There we are. So they're having us redo the putting Val together bit. I don't see any bits of... Ah, there we are. We are recently dead. Museum curator for the island of Shellbrook? Shelmerston. That makes way more sense. I like this cute little world. It's very calming. We're still missing 4, it seems like. Someone has to be the caretaker of the island's guardians of the island's volcano. There we are. That should be everything. And unfortunately, we are not at present allowed to do it. So we're looking for other recently deceased folks who might be more qualified. And in finding them, we put together pieces of their lives and memories through mementos that they've left behind. Here's Val. She was the daughter of the local laird.
Morris Lopton?
Not a very arty
Is that
person,
really you?
but very eccentric and possibly a lesbian.
Oh, it's so good to see you again.
You too. You're looking very,
Dead?
yeah. But quite good, considering.
Hello, Val.
Sparky talks now. Death certainly has been strange.
Oh yes, our psychopomp for the game is Sparky, the talking dog. Used to be Morris's dog. Still is
Yes.
Morris's dog, really.
Poor Aggie. Must be very tired.
Aggie?
Aggie is the current custodian.
Oh, well then, yes. We were hoping you might replace Aggie.
Oh, Morris. That's some ask.
Oh, you can do it, Val.
I'm flattered. But those are enormous shoes to fill. And I'm not like you, Morris. I don't love this town like you do. And if I'm being
Really, I
honest,
don't think
I
anyone
can't
loves
abide
this
all
town
those
like Morris
antitypes
does, and I
and
kind
lowlanders
of hope that
chonking
the ending
around.
to this game will
I
be
can't
Morris
speak
being
for him.
allowed to take his place
This
as
job isn't
custodian
for me.
and watch over the island for,
I'm sorry to
well,
hear
as long as that
Val.
happens.
But I understand.
Thank you. It's been so nice to see you again.
You too, Val. Sparky, I'd love to spend some more time chatting with Val.
Oh, I'm sorry, Morris. We really need to keep this search up. That volcano is looking dire.
Come back later, Morris. I'll be here.
Oh, well, all right, Val. I'll find you later.
Goodbye.
I guess that's one of the nice things about being dead. You will be there later. It's a very nice view on death. Sort of cozy.
Slow down, Sparky. I need to get some things straight.
No time, Morris. We need to find the next prospect.
Well, it's just that I don't quite understand what we're doing.
We're looking for the custodian.
Well, I get that bit, Sparky, but what does the custodian have to do exactly?
Oh, well, it's hard to explain with your human words, but, the custodian kind of mingles with the island, becomes a part of it.
A part of the rock, the volcano.
Yes, the rock, and the sea, and the animals, and plants. The custodian becomes a part of all of these things. It becomes part of the island spirit.
And you give up being a ghost.
Yeah, well, a walking around talking kind of ghost. Stop being someone who can go into the West. It's quite a sacrifice.
Oh, wow. Well, no wonder Val
I've never
doesn't
really
want to
explained
fill
what
those
going into
shoes.
the West means, but as far as I've been able to determine,
She really is.
I always thought there were those folks destined to be mayors.
that
and
is a
I
phrase
suppose
that started with
custodians.
Tolkien, so it's interesting that
There are
it's here in
people
this
like
alternate
you,
world,
Val.
much less that it's a central part of the afterlife.
What? Small? Morris, your heart is as big as the island. Everyone knows that.
Well, I suppose I'm more like one of those island oddities in the museum.
Yeah, and they were always the visitors' favourites. Now, we need to move on.
It really does seem to be
Next up
building
is
Morris
Ogden
up
Beck,
as
in the old
already
town.
part of the
Oh,
spirit
there
of
it
the
is.
island.
I'm right
Maybe
behind
this
you,
journey
Sparky.
is a little bit more about setting free those folks who feel stuck. I wouldn't be surprised. As for having different bits of the soul, or whatever they're calling it here, it reminds me a little bit of the Egyptian view of the afterlife, where your soul is made up of different pieces, the heart, the ba and the ka, the different aspects of your personality and your physical form, all of which have different roles to play.
Ogden next,
I'm
eh?
no expert
I'll
on
be glad to see
mummies, on Egyptology,
This
but
music always hurt my
if you
ears,
want
but it
some,
was good at
uh,
tune scratchers.
Dr. Brianna Jackson has
Lovely guy.
a great
Oh, look, the
YouTube
ferry's coming in.
series. It's
There'll be
all
loads of
very
tourists all over this
Egyptology
quayside
and
soon.
artifact
Well, I suppose I
oriented.
won't get in our way much anymore, eh, girl?
Ogden Beckett. Ogden was a multi-instrumentalist, leader of the Shelmerston Silver Band, and a keen cricketer. As a young man, he went to live in New Zealand, but returned to marry his childhood sweetheart Sally Mapes. Oh, I think we've heard that name before. I think she was hanging out in the art area. So, he was the Chandler as well? I don't know where we're headed. Okay, the chandlery, storing a wide range of ropes and lines, boat hardware, safety equipment, maps, and charts. Whether you're a fisherman, a leisure sailor, we probably have what you need, and if we don't, we have it in from the mainland. That's interesting. That's not what I think of a chandlery as being. I thought chandlers were candle makers. What have we got in here? Inside the window, little crab trap. I guess we can't get too close. Chandlery Shed. Fellow named Ken McArdle, who runs the boat tours for the tourists. Got a box of buoys. It's full of buoys, it is. Oh, we've got some memories up here. The Skylark. It's a good name for a boat. Boat names have a long history of various naming conventions, and sailors are often extremely superstitious and have a lot of beliefs. There are a lot of bootlegger, the music teacher.
I remember when a young Ogden asked to join the Shelmerston Silver Band. I recognised his talent immediately.
But there are a lot of gods in the ancient world dedicated to safety at sea, to bringing someone home safe from the sea, to prosperous sea voyages. The sea has always been a deadly customer and a way of life. It's a place where humans cannot live, but also a place of great life. The bounty of the sea is endless, but so are its dangers, the storms, simply being becalmed out of sight of land. A very dangerous and interesting place. So there are numerous aspects of ocean life.
Literally anything.
That wind their way into being. Oh. So DJ Trundlebot looked up Chandler for us, and apparently the secondary definition is a trader in specialized provisions. So a ship chandler would in fact be a supplier of provisions for ships. Interesting. That's so odd. It seems like such a specialized term.
Eventually he settled on the sousaphone, which he always insisted on playing with his lucky bronze mouthpiece.
Sousaphone. I like the sousaphone. Named, if I understand correctly, after the composer, Sousa, who made a lot of grand marching pieces and just very loud and bold.
One evening after the Silver Band played a storming concert in the Camel, Ogden and Sally got it into their heads to go for a night swim in the harbour, young love and all that. Ogden left his mouthpiece behind, and when we came back the next morning to pack up, it had disappeared.
Oh, that's very sad. But, you know. Missing your lucky mouthpiece. Also, mouthpieces are, any piece of an instrument's not super cheap. I'm actually really intrigued by the name The Silver Band. I wonder why it is called The Silver Band, especially since he seems to have been playing bronzes.
It really rattled him. Ogden was worried he wouldn't be able to perform without it, but of course, next time we played, it was just as good as ever. Didn't need
An
any
engraved
lucky
mouthpiece.
Ogden. He could play anything, that lad.
Oh, there he is playing a serpent. Isn't it also called like an Ophiuchus? Ophiclyde. Oh, okay. Ophiclydes have keys, I'm informed. That would be my partner Tortoise, who himself is a composer and a bronze instrument player. And other things. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I got it in my head. Brass. Right, yes. He has a bronze mouthpiece. Brass. Yes. So all of the Ofo words are, of course, from Greek, and Clyde as well. Noodlehorn, yeah, as in snack. So, Clyde meaning keys.
Ogden was so talented. A real virtuoso. Oh, I love listening to him play.
Oh, speak for yourself, Morris. It was a terrible racket.
Not a music lover is Sparky. You know, animals can have their own music taste. Like some people will say that cats don't understand music, but that is not true. I had a cat growing up who loved jazz. I have a friend right now whose cat is just in love with punk music, which is great. So fun fact, oh, what was that? Oh, a bunch of oils. Bootlegger still on the boat. I guess if the boat's been there long enough. Skylark's purpose is to conceal the still. They call their local whiskey Sheepshank. Ooh. I love that they've invented a whole economy for this bootlegger, even though we don't actually need anything from it. Like, none of it, it's not relevant to our story, but this whole island is just absolutely full of the stories of these people. Now, usually, wow, I'm just kind of looking around, but usually, so far in this game, the object mentioned is hidden in the same place as the person who had a memory of it. I want to see if this takes us to the beach. It does. Feels like something a seagull might have stolen. Got a Shelmerston Compter. How strange. There's somebody inside. Donald Thompson. What are you? Compters were small local prisons where an English sheriff might put debtors, dissenters, and other troublemakers. The modern-day take on the Compter was kindly installed by Sea Defense when they built the new harbor arm, a novel way to control the rowdy antics of certain Sea Def employees? Oh my! That's very troubling. Oh my. That I am in fact quite disturbed by that. Who are you? You're some kind of tourist? Vernon Russet. Oh, that was the artist who was oh. Well, I have the feeling that we'll want that eventually. But Vernon Russet was in fact in the previous section. Well, I should probably go back to my theory that the oh my, this town is complex. So, somewhere around here there will be something that we can use. Winkle Bob Roggins. I think we saw him at the art exhibit too. Band leader for the Shelmerston Fishermen's Institute Brass Band. I wonder what he's doing here. I guess if the bootlegger is also the local musician, that kind of makes sense. One of these buckets maybe gonna have something in it. Although maybe just a lucky spirit. It's always interesting what I can and can't lock onto here. Nothing. Why can I lock onto these winches? Like, at least the paint buckets have an interiority. Even if it's all the same. Can I guess it's probably going to be somewhere in here then. People have been making alcohol for basically all of human history. Oh, here we are. Funnel question mark. You'd think a music teacher would notice.
They seem to have been using it as a funnel. These bootleggers are very resourceful.
It's not like funnels are in themselves suspicious. They could really have just bought a different funnel. It's inscribed.
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop up to let you know when we're close to one.
Okay, we've got another memory here at the fish market. Gaston Perry's fish stall. Shelmerston's cricket umpire. Captain of the cricket team. Cricket being a British sport that they have exported all over the empire.
On the volcanic sand spits. We had lost to Appledore for the past 3 years, and it was my first year as captain. I didn't want another loss on my watch. Ogden had just come back from New Zealand and told me he'd be up for it. I wasn't sure. I remembered Ogden from school. He was lanky and good in the field, but batting? Not sure.
The only times I've ever played cricket are, in fact, with a friend who is a New Zealander.
Ogden showed up with his own bat. He told me he'd won it in a pub in Dunedin and that it had belonged to a famous New Zealand player. I wondered whether I should put him into bat at all, but Ogden whispered to me that he'd been playing on deck all the way home. I knew Ogden wasn't a bluffer, but he was never the guy who got picked for the first team at school. Still, I had nothing to lose. Ogden hit a six with his first stroke. We went wild! And just when I thought it must be a fluke, he hit another and another. He was a machine!
Oh, batting a 6 is the highest single score you can get, and that's about the extent of my sports knowledge.
It was a stunning win, and we carried Ogden back across the sand and into the Camel. Even though he'd won the match pretty much single-handedly, he insisted it was all down to the bat, and plenty of practice. Ogden was solid gold.
Okay.
How's that? What a great day that was. And we've beaten Appledore every year since. Those poor chaps never did recover from Ogden's incredible batting.
Not much of a sports person myself, but I'll take a moment to endorse the most recent Jessie Gender video, wherein her absolutely adorable fiancé mumbles on about sports for a while. They're so cute together. So somewhere around here, presumably, we will find a cricket bat. That's not a cricket back. This is Slippery Derek. Apparently. Hi, Slippery Derek. I love you. This game is so cute. Robin Piper. Jessica Dern. Oh, a pallet of fish. A great place to find a cricket bat. What? Oh, a barnacle cluster? Oh, a cricket ball. Apparently. I guess we found it.
Hey Morris, remember when we found one of these heavy balls on the beach and I dropped it on your toe?
Oh no. There's a lot going on here. There's some seismologists. Oh, studying the volcano, which is recently somewhat reawoken due to the guardian Aggie getting older. The worship of nature spirits of the land is usually called animism. The idea being that even inanimate things are in some spiritual way ensouled. Anima being the Latin for soul. So here we have Doug Bradfield and Angie Potts, seismological postgrads from University College London. Hey, shout out UCL, I have some friends there. Who've just been studying Shelmerston for several years, and when their remote instruments detected unusual activity, they headed straight for the island to investigate in person. They're increasingly concerned that something unprecedented is happening on Shelmerston. The seismograph readings show a pattern of activity that hasn't been recorded before anywhere in the world, an alarming escalation of tremors, suggesting something significant is about to happen. Yeah, I would be concerned too. I'm glad they're here. So these folks are postgrads, which means that they are graduate students in some way. I just want to point out that people in graduate school can range from having just graduated college, undergraduate, to older folks who have taken an interest for business or personal reasons, maybe starting their second career, maybe having picked up a retirement hobby that they happen to have enough money and time to invest their their time in. Oh, it's interesting. I don't think we've really found a ramshackle building before. Oh, the Bergonzi children. We saw them earlier in the sculpture park. Arthur's been told repeatedly not to climb up that rusty anchor, but he just will not listen. Perhaps he needs to fall off it so that he will pay attention in the future. No, don't say things like that. That's just mean. We have what appears to be a community garden. So, Humphrey's plot, not particularly well cared for. Laura Baxter's plot. We've got... What's in this shed, I wonder? Okay, there's a Gremkin here somewhere. But I just want to know what's in the shed. Nothing interesting at all. What can we focus on? There's a bird up there. A gigantic onion! I don't know why we can focus on the onion, but that's cute. Can we focus on the stack? Looks like a promising place. Nope. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting Gremkins. Don't be very quiet. That's not actually necessary or useful. What is... Why? Why is there a chain? And why can I focus on it? I have so many questions. Okay, so this is the place where we need to be. We're not all oriented correctly. Okay, getting there. Hello, Froggo. Come on. Oh. Huh? I'm very confused. Okay, here goes, here goes. Got it. Really, the orientation that they want is sometimes somewhat obscure. 14 Gremkins. We're not going to get to 14 Gremkins today. Way more interested in finding Ogden. Hello, Laura. Apparently. There's nothing particular to find here. The back plots aren't lighting up. Okay. There's a bee field. I approve. A Judy Druraith. Probably not pronouncing that right. The local beekeeper. But I approve. Can we see inside the beehive? That's an empty beehive with a kitty in it! Oh my gosh, it's so cute! Okay, so... we've found our Gremkin. Gremkin wanted us to know about the kitty. Alright, what else we got? Beekeeping. Also an ancient art. We love our honey as much or more than the bears do. So, the Camel, the local pub. Can we go inside? There we are. No memories in here, it looks like. But Mimi and Lauren, singers apparently. Ivan, Nathan, fisherman, barkeep. I'm sorry, what did you call that? Pickled eggs. Okay, there's gotta be something funny in there, right? Nope, just literally pickled eggs. The inevitable karaoke machine. But yeah, not as enlightening as I expected. Oh. Somewhere here there is a Gremkin. Oh no. What would make that shape? Oh. Something this way. Oh. I see. I did not see. That's okay. Alright. So nothing from the pub. There's a fishman chatting. John Dory, we saw him before. Bob Piper. Time for toast! This building is the stern half of the Beatrice Anne, a former Shelmerston fishing lugger, and was converted by Burp and Gugu, I'm assuming those are fish people names, in the early 90s. This toast room serves dry toast almost exclusively to the fisherfolk. There's always a line. Till they came up on land, the fish people had never eaten dry food, and they love it. Toast is their absolute favorite, and is the main reason fisherfolk integrated with the economy and practices of the dry cider said. This said that until toast, they had no interest in money or clothes. I love this cute little world. Learning a lot about the history of Shelmerston. It's great. Oh, and we have another... Wow. So many toasters. Plugs. They put so much effort into this backstory, into the toast and the fishmen, the chopping board. Really? I want to know who this guy is. So many different models of toaster. Amazing. I just love it. A toast rack. Did you ever know you wanted a toast rack before now? I didn't. I don't. Don't want a toast rack. There's even toasters in the dumpster out back. Amazing. Okay, I'm not gonna spend more time looking through the toast shop. I'm gonna get on with things. Oh, bird people! Hello, bird people! Audrey's Seafood Bar. This is Audrey, local entrepreneur with her fingers in many fish pies. Not content with running a landscape gardening company and Shelmerston's satellite internet consortium, she recently opened the Seafood Bar to take advantage of tourists with a ready supply of seafood. That doesn't sound like taking advantage. There we go. Let's have some mussels. Well, we're certainly finding more Gremkins than I expected. I was hoping for some memories, but we still have 3 to go. Kipper Company. The Kipper Street Market. Oh, kitties! I'm always happy to see more kitties. Kitties in bins. Hi, kitty. Oh, his name is Fats. Do the other kitties have names? Super Kit. Oh, Super Kit. This is the most important part of this game. This is Jack. Little Void. I appreciate you, Jack. Boxer. Another little Void. Her name's Polly. Look at her, she's so cute. I am very glad that I can't look inside the cats. That would be upsetting. Oh, there are more cats on the woodpile. There's so many kitties, I love it. Biscotti! Oh, it's Biscotti! And Smoky Momo! Oh, what a baby! Kipper Street Market run by a fish person. Mariana. It's a good fish person name. Her ability to catch her own herring keeps costs low. Oh, this is where we're gonna find... No, come on. Oh, there we go. That's doing something. There we go. Fresh kippers for the Gremkins. Do you want a fresh kipper, Freya? Freya is watching along. But still no memories. What about in the crab shack? Oh, this looks promising. Somebody's got a memory here. No, not you. Eh. Sally Mapes, the widow. Yes.
We were 14 when we started going out. Me and my friend Cassia had started a beach clean at the weekend, and Ogden turned up with his mate Godfrey. I had no idea Ogden liked me. He was the tallest in our year, and we all fancied it. By the time we reached the little cove at the north end of the beach, he'd asked me to come to a concert he was playing in. I said yes.
Aw.
We'd been going out for a few years.
It's always
and I
nice to
applied
see a healthy
forestry college
romance.
on the mainland. I didn't tell Ogden. I didn't believe I'd get in, and didn't want him to think I was trying to get away from him. Ogden might have looked mature and confident, but he was a gentle soul, not nearly as sure of himself as he looked.
Well, when you're young, it's hard to trust. And when you're old, it's hard to trust for different reasons, but
But
trust
I did get in,
is the foundation of
and he
love.
was gutted. I felt terrible. I didn't want to hurt Ogden. He said he didn't mind, but I could see he was covering. My last week on Shelterstone was really hard. Every time I saw him, it felt so strained, and I couldn't sleep. Finally, on my last night, I made a decision. I would take an apprenticeship at the garden centre on the island instead, so we could stay together. It felt like the right thing to do. I would tell Ogden in the morning.
That's quite a decision. I
When
really
opened
hope
the
it
door
doesn't
the
happen.
next day, I found Ogden's sousaphone left on the doorstep. I was terrified. What did it mean? What had he done?
That is a good question.
I ran down to his house, my heart in my mouth. His mum, she never did like me, was a little bit smug. She told me Ogden had sailed off to New Zealand. He was headed to Christchurch, she said, and didn't know when he was coming back.
Oh,
Then she shut the door.
that's so sad.
I was more than a bit tearful, but, you know, looking back, I think we both needed to have a bit of an adventure.
It is good not to stay in your original context, to be sure that you've had other experiences before you commit to something. So I guess we're looking for the sousaphone
We
here.
spent a lot of time with Sally during this period. We used to meet up quite often when she returned from Forestry College, and I was working at the museum. For a while, I thought maybe we would get together. She always seemed a bit out of reach, sort of distracted. Well, makes sense now.
Poor Morris. But what is a sousaphone doing in a floristry shop? Oh, crab shack, not a floristry shop. I'm assuming it's gonna be the sousaphone. It's probably upstairs. Not sure how I... Oh, no, not that far out. It's not underground. What can I focus it on? Shelves? Oh no, it's this bottle, I guess. No? Who knows how it got there, indeed. So... looking for a ship in a bottle, which is not that specific bottle. Somehow. It's not in here. I mean, it does look like this bottle. Oh, it's the model we wanted. My bad.
How did that get in there?
Susan the crab. Hello, Susan. Looking very crabulous today. Wait, there was text there. Susan was supposed to be cooked and eaten for the Festival of the Sea back in '97 when she was already one of the largest crabs to be caught on Shelverston. When the big day came, no one could bring themselves to kill her, so Susan was named and has lived here ever since. Red King crabs lived for 30 years, so Susan is probably coming to the end of her life, but no one knows for sure. That's actually pretty cool. Also pretty weird. Just saying. It's gotta be weird as somebody who kills crabs for a living. Oh. Apparently this is our Gremkin is hiding in the crab claws on the plate. Oof. I don't know which direction it wants. Oh, this direction apparently. Oop. There we go. Alrighty. Art Center. Gallery and supply shop. Oh, that's one of our artists out there on the flight. Tetra is our art gallery patron, I guess, or possibly owner. Wooden seabirds. Oh, there's a cute little upstairs. Oh, ceramic gremkins. Who claims to have visited Grenkin Grove, home of the Grenkins, as a small child. That's interesting, since I wouldn't have expected anyone necessarily to be able to see them. There we go. Getting there. Found it. There's a Gremkin hiding in a Gremkin. I wonder if it's the same shape. Not even close. Although these wooden Gremkins do, in fact, look like Gremkins. Oh, a memory. Come on, let's go. The Seaside Shop. An inflatable ring formed after the Laird's famous camel. So, Ogden's childhood friend, Godfrey. We heard a mention of him from Sally.
Remember, we was walking home from school, a bunch of us, and I told him my granddad said the lad had a live battering camel living somewhere in the woods.
The rumors of Val's camel.
Everyone laughed, but I told them it was true. Ogden didn't believe me. Someone would have seen it. He dared me to climb in and prove it. I told him he'd have to come with me. Sneaking
Seems
past
only
the
fair.
house, we were almost caught by the gamekeeper and had to run. Hell for leather. for the
Gamekeeper?
woods.
There's really a gamekeeper here?
We reached the trees out of breath. I was bent double and leant against a tree. Ogden had better breath control and he recovered quickly. He saw it first. The clouds parted, the moon shone down, and Ogden gasped. And then I did too. Was it? It was.
So, a gameskeeper, usually when you hear about a gameskeeper, it's someone who keeps the hunting in an area. Basically, they're watching to make sure that there is a good and sustainable hunting stock left, but also they're usually concerned with keeping the peasants from hunting the laird's food, whether he has enough of it or not.
The next day, we were kicking ourselves. We had no proof. No one was going to believe us. But we knew what we saw.
You sure did. There sure was, in fact, a camel there.
Yeah, he was a couple of years above these chaps at school. Oh, and he's right. No one believed them. We gave them so much stick.
I assume giving a stick means, you know, teasing? Friendly, I hope? I don't know what we're looking for. A camel statue, apparently? I mean, I kind of love this thing, though. It's not just one camel-shaped floating ring. It's 3 multi-sized camel-shaped floating rings. Okay. Well, let's have a look around. There's plenty of stuff here, but I suspect we're looking for something on the second floor. Maybe in a chest of drawers? No, can't zoom in. What about here? No? Maybe I'm thinking too hard about this. What, I can't see inside the counter? That seems unusual for this game. What else can I click on? What about that bin in the back? No? We've got some Berbertourist. Grinkins seem pretty accurate. Okay, we didn't just get to see inside a whistle for some reason. We also got to hear a whistle. It's inside one of these buoys. Not these ones. There's so much to click on. Oh, there actually is something in here. Little fish. What about inside this shell? No. Probably inside one of these glass thingies up here. No, not inside one of the glass thingies. What about a bucket? No. Come on. What else can I even click on? Can't click on that. I can click on these buckets. Nope, nothing there. Huh. What about this thing? Collection box. Is there a camel in the collection box? No, just coins. Postcards. I've seen these little finger puppets all over the place. Every trinket shop. No camels hiding in the pencils. Did I miss something? Pirate swords. Little spades. Can't click on the ones on the wall. Should hope nothing like that is hidden in the inflatable camels. How tiny would it have to be? I really did want it to be in this shell. It's really not. Huh. Any ideas, chat? I missed something. Huh. Well, there is a thing in that whistle. I already looked through these. Huh. I'm stumped. Where else would a camel figurine be hiding? click on any of the stuff in here. Well, let's see if I can find that last memory. There we go. Come on, let me click on her. There we go. Nope, not quite. Okay, another memory from his wife. That kind of makes sense.
I missed Ogden so much, and for the first month there was no letter at all. I took my place at college on the mainland without knowing how he was feeling. It was a shock how low it made me, even though I was working with flowers, my dream job. I threw myself into making friends and working as hard as I could. I wondered about him travelling the world without me and without his sousaphone, what he was doing, how he was feeling. Then the letters started arriving, and it was amazing. Each one came with a penny from a different country. One from Valparaiso, another from Dakar.
We already
I wrote
found
back
this
and told
one.
Ogden about my course, trips to Kew Gardens, which were amazing. And Ogden told me about his voyage, watching dolphins and flying fish, crossing the equator. Sometimes we were both lonely. We poured out our hearts to each other. In a funny way, I think the letters made us closer than ever. When he arrived in Christchurch, he'd send me flowers pressed in his letters. I sent him a shell from home, and then he sent me a New Zealand halfpenny. It was my favourite. On one side was the head of a Maori tiki. Ogden told me it was lucky. I came back to the island, and when my father died, I opened up my own florist shop on the quay. I tucked the halfpenny under the front step for luck, polished up Ogden's sousaphone and put it in the window. They both brought me luck, and the shop flourished.
Alright, so I did just want to comment on the Maori tiki head on a
Showed up at the
halfpenny.
shop, completely out of the
Halfpenny?
blue.
I can't
He
pronounce
told me there was nowhere like Shelmerston, and no one like me. I was so thrilled to see him, I asked him to marry me there and then.
Yes, break those gender norms.
Yes.
But money and currency are not necessarily the norm of every society. And often, a lot of indigenous cultures that were colonized, especially by the European set of colonial nations, had currency forced upon them as a means of subjugation. And so to feature the Maori tiki is simultaneously a triumph in recognition of the importance of the indigenous Maori, and a bit ironic in the colonialism of the penny itself.
The lure of Shelmerston. It always pulls people back when they try to move away. They were a lovely couple, Sally and Ogden.
It didn't seem like it had much pull on Val, but she did end up here. Gimme that penny. Kiwi on one side, tiki on the other. New Zealand. 3 penny.
Yet one good thing about being dead, I'll never have to deal with counting change again.
Probably my single hottest take as a philosophical stance is that I believe that money itself is evil and shouldn't exist, and we should be rid of it entirely. So I've had a suggestion of trying to look in this barrel, which I tried to focus on. Oh! But now it works, so probably. Yeah, there it is. Alright. Think we've found all of Ogden's
Cows,
memory
as they're
tokens.
Obviously a made-up animal. Humans will believe any old rubbish.
Oh, that's cute. But it's true that tales of wild creatures would spread and mythological animals, and it's easy to get misled as to whether things are real or not. Camels do kind of seem like a made-up animal if you don't know they're real. A porcelain camel. I wouldn't put a porcelain camel in one of those, but... Alright.
Ah, yes. A very distinctive odour indeed. I reckon I can find him from this. Here I come, Ogden.
Trying to look around. Any pieces of you out by the bee field? No. I wish. Oh, there's some. And here we go. I bet his reason for not wanting to become the Guardian is that he's waiting for Sally. Not often you find a love story that actually lasts a whole lifetime. Although, I do know some.
Oh, this feels so good. Terrific to see you, Morris. Oh, it's great to see you too, mate.
Have a stretch, Ogden. We have a question for you.
Sparky, owner of the very finest singing voice on the island. What can I do for you?
Well,
That's a cute way to
it's
describe
about
a dog.
the custodian. We need a replacement.
Ah, yes. I've heard that volcano rumbling. Poor Aggie must be very tired. Yes, she is. We need a replacement. Oh. Oh, you want me to be the custodian? Well, I'm honored, but I can't. Are you sure? The island is in dire need. I know, and I sympathize, but Sally is the other half of me. I need to watch over
There it
her.
is.
Everything else may be changing, but she's my constant, and I'm hers. I need to go into the West with her when it's her time. Yes, I understand. You two always did have an enviable connection. We were very lucky to find each other. And I'm still lucky just to watch over her. Makes this place still feel a bit like home, even as it changes.
That's very
So I'm
sweet.
going to stay. But listen, once you've found the custodian, come back and enjoy a sniff of that beer in the camel with me, eh? Sure, Ogden. Well, see you around.
So I feel like I started a couple directions and never got very far with them. The connection of music and sailing is actually pretty tight as well. Sailors throughout history have relied on music, whether vocal or drummed or... Yeah, isn't it great, MJ Faye? It's a wonderful hat. I kind of want that hat. Maybe a little smaller in the brim. But it's great color. But yeah, so music and sailing have an intimate connection, so it's not too surprising to find folks that are interested in both. And in addition, we had that moonshine distillery, which I'm very amused by. The local sheepshank whiskey, which does not sound appetizing at all. So I'd just like to go back and talk a little bit about the connection between alcohol and sailing. So alcohol is part of the reason why you see everybody in ancient times drinking alcohol is because purifying water is kind of hard if you don't have the tools, and one of the easiest ways to do it, at least for, you know, biological contaminants like viruses, bacteria, algae, that kind of thing, is to use alcohol. That'll kill off your most basic waterborne parasites and germs, and so it's much safer to drink usually very watered wine or light beer than it is to drink, you know, straight fresh water from a spring. If you've been watching the videos on my channel, I actually recently did a video about learning to purify water, which is something I'm very interested in. Clean water and clean potable water is going to become a much scarcer resource as climate change progresses and as our infrastructure here in the US at least continues to fall apart under hypercapitalism. So I'm very interested in water contaminants and what we can do about it. And I think it's very fun to have this distillery inside a never quite built ship. Reminds me a little of the Odyssey. That Skylark has been under repairs for years, and they keep unmaking their repairs so it never has to go out again. Like Penelope in the Odyssey undoing her weaving so that she never has to pick a suitor to be her new husband. Don't think that was an intentional callback, but it's something that I noticed. And with that, we're actually at about the end of our time for this session. So I'm gonna let it play a little in the hopes that next time I will be able to start after the conversation with Ogden. Oh, that looks ominous, doesn't it?
After all these years, Ogden still carries that torch for Sally. I wish I'd been so lucky.
Oh, there's another thing.
Things I should have done.
The ideas of love have not been consistent through the ages. You know, it's very common now to think of, you know, marriage is one man and one woman for life as the, you know, even if it's a bit of an extreme position, it's also sort of the bog standard. But that hasn't always been true, not even a little bit. You know, we have all sorts of records of you know, various types of polygamy where one woman will marry 5 men, for instance, in the Mahabharata, or there will be kings with hundreds of wives, as in, you know, as in the Bible. Oh, the bog lady. I've gotten distracted from the actual text. Oh, the bog is it. Wow. Wow, she's been there since the Bronze Age. Oh my. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, MJFA, you don't have time for all those wives. That is correct. That is correct. But yeah, what I had gotten distracted saying, which is not directly about this game, but I just wanted to say, to put it out there, that also staying together with a partner for your entire life is not bog standard through the ages either, and neither is staying with the opposite sex, or even, you know, being distinguished by type at all in that way. Whether marriage is even a thing in a society is, you know, it changes depending on where you're looking and when. So it's lovely that Ogden and Sally had that, you know, very, very rare, but beautiful connection. They could get together at 14, be separated for a while, come back together, live all their lives together, and still be that in love. But that is not normal. Like, that's not average. That is very, very rare, and I don't want anybody to think that that is something that they are supposed to be doing, right? You're not stuck with the first partner you ever have. So So that's my personal little rant for the day, I guess. But meanwhile, I'm very excited to hear about the Bronze Age Bog Lady of Shelmerston, and I wish they told us a bit more. Maybe they will. Ooh, pardon me. Maybe we'll get to meet Aggie and find out what she's like and what her past is like. Oh, that would be so cool. I would be very excited. All right. Well, our next friend coming up is Greg Litherland at the campsite, and we will get to meet him next week. Thank you very much for coming along. It's great to have you here, and keep learning, friends.